Hi, I'm Bonnie Kemke. Welcome to my studio and welcome to Quilting on a Thread. This video will be another video in my Getting to Know You series, and this time I'm in front of my Cutie Breeze. My last video that I did was building your quilt body on the frame, and I was doing that with small projects, and I was on my original Cutie. This time I'm going to build a more larger quilt on the frame, and I'll do that here on my Cutie Breeze. So now I have you positioned over my Cutie Breeze, and I have the three pieces of my quilt body here. And the reason being is because I wanted you to see that I have taken the top of each one of my pieces. At the top of the quilt top, I have put a pin in to mark the center. I've done the same thing with my batting. I've marked the center of my batting. And I've done the same thing with my backing. I've marked the center of my backing. This is a medium-sized project, but it would be exactly the same if it were a king, a twin, a queen, a wall hanging, and that's basically what this is. This is a wall hanging. So I take that center, and if you'll remember on my frame, I have washi type tape that I use to mark the center. So this ruler goes out from the center to the right, and it goes out from the center to the left. So where those two pieces of tape meet, that's my center. So that's what I'm going to work towards. So I bring my machine over so that it's just off of center so that I can guide my quilt backing underneath the presser foot, but I can see the center. So I'll take this pinned piece, that's my center, and I'll take the quilt backing and spread it over the sides of my Cutie Breeze. So I take this underneath the presser foot, and I can go ahead and bring my machine forward now, and I find the center point, and that's where I want my backing to be setting up on. So I take a weight. This is a bag of seeds that I made, and I'm going to put that there to hold that in place, and I'll bring the sides up. And I would like another weight on this side, so I'll just bring that weight here. And this is just to hold my place. Now, if this were a larger quilt, there'd be a lot more of the backing draping over the sides. And that's okay, because I'm going to build my quilt sandwich here, and then before I would start working, I would slide the quilt sandwich over to the right or slide the quilt sandwich over to the left, depending on how I want to work. But first, let's build the quilt sandwich. So we don't have a weight on this side, so I'm going to carry this weight over here. And the only reason is I'm just trying to give it a placeholder. So we've got the weight in place, and I've got this pin. So I want to get one of my back clips. And since this is going to be right on top of the bar, I want to go ahead and take that pin out, bring my center back clip here, and make sure that everything is as neat as possible, and clip that in. Keep in mind that there's no batting under here yet, so this is still going to be slippery. So I'll go ahead and bring this one over, and I'm going to get another one of my back clips and put that in place. Now, the thing to keep in mind about the Cutie Breeze clips, the back clips do not matter whether you can read the Cutie or not. I just like to be able to read the Cutie, so I will tend to go ahead and clip it on that way, but you don't need to do that. So now that's clipped, and it's not taut, but it's secured. And this is all I need to do for the moment, because now I'm going to come in and grab my batting. And with my batting, I'm going to come up here and just eyeball where the center is. So it's right about here. So knowing that, I'm going to come over here and grab one of these little blue clips, and I'm going to mark where the center is. So I'm going to put this off to the left of where the center is. That's so that I have a guide to put my batting in place. See? And so again, I want to stress that you need to know your batting. I always check with the manufacturer. I know this batting very well. I use it all the time. So this is the scrum. The scrum side is down. The reason why the scrum side is down is so that my needle is not fighting going through the batting. You know it's the scrum side because on the machining of this, there will be little pimples that come out, you know, points where the needle exited. That's the back of your batting. So I'm going to bring this batting up with my center in mind. I'm going to take this also under the presser foot of my machine. I'm going to walk this stuff up, keeping the center in mind as much as possible. Now this becomes a lot more important on a larger project, but it's very easy to do. And you'll notice that this is so light that it came out of the clip. That's okay. I'll just undo the clip and clip it back. So now I come up here and I'm at the back with the batting. So what I want to do is move the batting up enough that I'm going to be able to clip it and grab a hold of some of the backing. So I can take that blue clip off now since I know where my center is. I'm going to take this clip off and I'm going to bring both the batting and the backing up and over my rail. And this time I'm going to put that clip in, and that's going to hold it pretty steady. So I'm going to take this clip off, and you'll see that the backing has already fallen out, and that's okay because I'm going to secure it now with the batting. So I want that smooth. And I'm coming over to this side and do the same. Now that that is done, I'm going to lift my batting up a little bit and grab a hold of my backing and give it a tug to smooth it out. Grab the sides and smooth that out as well. And then I'll pull the batting down and I'll smooth that all out. Anything that looks like it could take a little bit more attention, I'll go ahead and attend to that now. And so what I want to try to achieve is the backing appears level and the batting appears level. Once I have that taken care of, I'll get my machine out of the way as much as possible because now I'm really going to do some play. I'm going to come in and put the front clips on. And I do these front clips pretty much just the same way as I do on my Cutie. I just clip one side down and walk the other side the rest of the way. Now you'll see there's some obscurities, some divots and stuff here. So when I see something like that, I'll consider whether the, when I see something like that, I'll come over here and pull to the side and see if that straightens it out. If not, there's some work I have to do rearranging these. So I'm going to go ahead and put the side clips in. And the side clips will go on the way my frame is configured. The side clips have to go up to the top because I don't have space to put the side clips here. So they have to go up to the top. Before I go any further, I want to get that straightened out. And so the best way to get that straightened out is to loosen this back clip, give everything a tug, bring my machine forward. Okay, that's in there, and then I'll take and do the same on both of the sides of the back rail. And I might move that clip in a little closer. It's really important that at this point you get the batting as flat as possible, because if you don't, when you put the top on, you're going to have that rumple underneath there. So now that I've straightened up what the back looks like, I'll go ahead and deal with the front. These clips are brand new, so they're a little difficult to get off, but that's really okay. That's a lot better. And when I move my machine over, I can see that the only area where there's a differentiation is, you know, in the smoothness is here, but that's over on the side and I can't even get to that with my needle. So I'm good with that. And I can clear some of that up. And now I'm going to do the same thing on this side. Just going to give everything a good tug and reclip it. Now that's pretty good. And so I want to test that. And I do that by just bringing my finger up and drawing. And if I can see the finger drawing, the fingernail drawing across there, and everything feels smooth underneath, that is good. Okay, so I've got these weights. I'm just going to get them out of my way. So the next thing to do is bring in the topping, the topper. Now, because this is small enough, I can just lay it out. There's my pin, so I want to reach under here again and take a look at that center. It's a little more difficult this time because I have more of the batting, but I can get under there and feel that and find the center. So there's my center. So I bring this up, and see, this is a lot easier because everything is clipped in, and everything is clipped in before I put the top on, so that the top has a better bed, if you will, as I'm centering it. So I would baste this down so the top is not going to go underneath the back clips. What I'm going to do with the top is get it as level as possible. And I would bring a ruler out here to measure it from the back rail. And so I have a ruler under here, if I can pick it up. So I would bring a ruler out here and measure it from the back rail, find out where my needle will hit. Well, my needle will hit there, but I like to always give myself a little bit more space. So I come in here with the ruler, and I see that that's about 1 inch 1.5. I'm gonna be more comfortable with that being about 2 inches, so I'm gonna pull this down until that's about 2 inches. And then I'm gonna go check somewhere else, and I'm gonna pull that down until it's about 2 inches. And I'm using the pink line of this test panel. Okay, so that's about 2 inches. And you know, I've had this pinned, so I'm going to take that pin way over here where I cannot get to with the sewing machine. I'm going to go ahead and pin that in place because I can't get to it on the sewing machine. And that gives me some stability for when I come in and baste. I'm going to take this pin out now and come back in and do some more measuring. And see, that's a little bit short. So pull that in. And I'll do the same thing with another pin. And I'll pin way over here where my needle can't get to. Now that I have this in place, I can baste. So I want to make sure that that's smooth, and it's not, so pull that back out. So I want this to be smooth. So I take my hand along the top on both sides and make sure it's smooth. If it's not, I adjust. So at this point, I have no roll up at the top, and I'm pulling this down. Now I've got two things that I can do now. I can go ahead and break these clips out off the side. Put this back under the side, under the clip it back in place. And again, I want to test my quilt body. Now, a lot of times I might consider floating my quilt. And if I were going to float, I would just remove these blue clips and move on. But I'm not going to float. I'm going to go ahead and clip this in place. So I take one of these clips off, bring that down, kind of give everything a good solid hold while I come in with the clip it down, lift this other side up, pull the clip out, neaten everything up, give it a good tug, all 3 layers. And there you have it. I'm totally clipped in. So what I would do at this point, if I had a larger project, is I would come over here and I would baste. And then needle down, I would pull everything to the left and continue basting. You know, clip it back in, continue basting. When I finished the basting on that side, I would come back over all the way to the edge, drop my needle down, pull everything to the right, and continue that until I got all the way to the left-hand side, and then I would baste. So the top would be completely basted. With everything clipped in, I would be ready to begin working on my quilt. So that's how we build a quilt body on the frame. Now, I'm afraid that might have seemed complicated, but it really isn't. And I can do this very, very quickly. It would probably have taken me less than 10 minutes to have built that quilt, this quilt body on the frame. I am sure I'm not the only person doing this. Usually when somebody comes up with a great idea, about 5 or 6 other people are already doing it. So that's part of why, that's why I show you these things, so that you have the opportunity to see something and maybe make it your own, or find a way to improve upon it and make it better than what you've just seen. In either instance, I hope that this helps you on your journey. I hope you enjoy using your Cutie Breeze, and I would love to see you again here on Quilting on a Thread. Bye-bye now.